Hi, it's Lucy here, and today I want to hopefully give you lots of Christmas card ideas. You don't need to have this new Christmas collection to still get ideas and inspiration from this video. I'll be showing or making 10 cards, including showing last month's Christmas collection as well, because I was on holidays, so I didn't have time to create a video for it. I also have 2 giveaways in this video too, so stay tuned on how to win. It's very easy. But if you want to go straight to the cards and card making part, you can find it at 4 minutes and 36 seconds. Both collections I'm showing today are from Uniquely Creative, and I wanted to show you them as soon as possible, as sometimes these Christmas collections sell out quickly, which doesn't surprise me at all. Uniquely Creative have the most gorgeous papers and embellishments. They're not the traditional Christmas papers that you find mostly. And I'll have product links below if you're interested in them as well in the description box. I know a lot of you are Uniquely Creative fans and will love to see the new kits, so I wanted to share it with you. Some of you may not have heard of them before. Uniquely Creative are an Australian company, but they ship internationally too. And they have a new collection each month, which you can buy from the 5th of each month, and you can purchase any of their items separately, or you can purchase the whole collection or something in between. They have all sorts of products as well that are year round, like cards and envelope packs in rectangle, square and slimline sizes as well. Here's the ephemera pieces. They have sentiments as well as images in them, which makes it really easy to create cards with. I love these. Coming up is what I'd love to give away. Uniquely Creative kindly sent me a duplicate of these 2 dies that are coming, and so I'd love to give them away. All you need to do is add your name in the comments section in capital letters, and so I can find it easily in the comments section. Here's the first die, and here's the second, and then I'll draw the 2 winners in the next Uniquely Creative video that I do, and I'm happy to send them internationally as well. And they also have a few must-have items back in stock too, like the stitched rectangle and circle nesting dies that I use a lot. And I also use the distressing tool and the pokey tool, and both of those are available again now. I'll be sure to mention it the next time I use them so you know what products I mean, or check them out in the list in the description box. They're my must-haves and they sold out quickly, so I'm pleased they restocked them. Here's last month's collection, another Christmas one, but completely different to the other kit I just showed. What do you think of these colour palettes for Christmas cards? I love to see non-traditional colours for Christmas. I get a little bit over green and red sometimes. The 12 by 12 papers are double-sided, which is great, and especially if you're not a fan of fussy cutting, as you can choose to use the other sides of those papers. And the paper collections also come in a 6 by 6 size, so perfect for card makers. I love being inspired by the paper designs. Sometimes with all the details on the paper, you just need to add a sentiment and it can make a beautiful but quick and easy card. So having designer papers rather than pattern papers with a monotonous pattern can make card making so quick and easy. The papers are high quality 210 GSM weight, which if you're unsure what that means, printer paper is 80 GSM and card bases are usually around 300 GSM, so it's on the heavy side of papers. There's even some corrugated card here. Do you need ideas on how to incorporate that into your cards? I use it on one of my cards in a minute. I love how Uniquely Creative don't let anything go to waste as well. Even their front cover on the back is more printouts that you can use. We also have ephemera packs again. They have a range of rhinestones and pearls. Glitter puffy stickers here, which I couldn't get enough of. I used them on 3 out of 4 of my cards I've created with this kit so far. There's also another 2 Christmas dies in this collection too. And as I mentioned, you can buy any of these items separately. Okay, so let's take a look at the cards I've already created and then we'll create some more. So these first cards are from September's collection. I was inspired by the gorgeous print on that top paper. So I tore the right-hand side off and added the torn piece with layers of scrap paper underneath to give it dimension. I added a flower with foam dots to give more interest to the paper design too. I think this is a really nice design, isn't it? But something a bit different. This next design is very different. I have created a video on how to do it as it's a very easy card to make, but I think it looks quite fancy. I tried to use contrasting but complementing background paper colours, and I prefer to use papers like this with a textured print than flat cardstock, although that can also look great in the right context. And I layered up some of the ephemera and used my distressing tool on the paper edges. I used the corrugated card on this card. What do you think? I feel like the card is still feminine, even with this masculine type corrugated card on it. This was another quick and simple card. I just added some paper at the top of the card and added the flowers and sentiments. And then for the last card, I made this a really large one and used one of the papers again mostly, and then just added some more gifts to it. And also used the glitter stickers sentiments again. I love those. So that's September's kit called Christmas Wishes, and now here's the cards I've made using this month's collection. And I used the gorgeous frame die for this card, which is the same one you can win. I used a lot of foam dots to create layers on the card. I seem to be getting a reflection from my window shears on the cards when I turn them to the left. This isn't part of the card design. I did a bit of tearing on this card. Maybe I'll do a video concentrating on tearing papers with tips and tricks, as I know a few of you get anxious about tearing beautiful papers, and I get that. And then this card, I used some of the rub-ons on the top part of it, and the rest of it is papers. So let's get started onto the first card, and I'm going to use my rectangle die. I'll just roughly cut it out of the paper, and then I can just die cut the rectangle. It's a bit smaller than my card, and I'm going to add a red border on it just to really brighten it up. I use my craft knife and scissors, even though I have many trimmers. One day I'll get used to using one. A few of you have asked about my craft knife, and unfortunately I don't know the brand or details of it. A lady who needed to give up crafting gave it to me about 10 years ago, and it's been amazing. I just change the blades every now and then, but it sadly doesn't have a brand on it, and I've tried looking online for a similar one for you, but to no avail. Sorry about that. So now I have some flowers here that I'm going to put in the top left hand corner, just to give it a little bit more interest on the card. And I'm using my lollipop stick, which I find so handy. You can find these in $2 shops, but you can also use straws or skewers, anything that's small and tube-like. And I just curve things around to give it a little bit more dimension. And then if I put foam tape in the middle of the flowers, they sit up nicely and the rest of it all curves around. So I'll pop it on this piece and then I can cut off any overhanging bits. I've added some double-sided tape to add it to the card front, and I'll add some more leaves to give an extra layer to the card, but this cluster is too big, so I'll cut it in half and use them separately. I'll add a bit of foam tape to them to keep them in place. I'll keep the other half to use on another card. I'll bend a flower and add that to the bottom of the card for extra dimension in that corner, and I'll use foam tape for that too. Then I'll add a sentiment with foam tape. These sentiments are part of an A4 sheet of sentiments, all Christmas related and so handy to have on hand. There's at least 50 sentiments on each sheet, I think, and they're only $2 Australian. I'll also add some Nuvo drops in autumn red, and I like to use the top of the Nuvo drops bottle to bang my card against to give my dots a smoother look. And now this first card is finished. I wanted to make the bird the star, and I think he stands out nicely even though he's flat on the paper. What do you think? For this next card, I've die cut this striped paper the same size as my card front, which by the way is Aussie standard size of 10.5 by 14.8 centimeters. And I've cut the paper roughly halfway, and then I'll use my distressing tool to rough up the edges. And this is one of the tools that I mentioned is back in stock. I'll just add the piece to the bottom of the card, no measurements needed, as I'll just add the top piece of paper and cut around it to match my card size. So you don't need to worry about your card size being different to mine either. You can always cut the papers to suit whatever your card size is. I'll play around with adding flowers in the center of the card along with a sentiment, and once I'm happy with the composition, I'll bend the papers like I did with the last card, and I'll add them with some foam tape and glue as well to make sure that they adhere permanently. I like to tuck most of the smaller flowers under the main flower cluster. They all have foam tape, so they'll all be at the same height though. I also love to bend the bows to give dimension. They're one of the best items to do this lollipop stick bending with, as it gives a realistic look to bows. And although I don't end up using this one on this card in the end, I will keep it for another card for sure. I'll add some Nuvo drops, and then I decided to doodle around the papers with a white gel pen, but it really didn't stand out, so I decided to change it to black pen to match the sentiment, and this still looks subtle, but it's a nice addition, I think. And then that finishes this card. What do you think of it? Do you love striped papers? I do. Onto this last card, and this paper is so you can have matching Christmas present tags for your cards, or you can use the tags on your cards. I'm going to use it in a different way though for this card. I'll just cut across the paper so I'm left with 4 different patterned rectangles. I'm cutting it longer than I need, so I can just cut off any overhanging bits once I've added it to my card, rather than measuring exactly the length that I need. I'm very lazy like this. I'll mount it onto some thick teal cardstock, which is also from Uniquely Creative. I'm just using their products today, and it's 300 GSM, so that's like card base weight, and so it's very thick and lush, and they have lots of colours to choose from as well, just in case you're wondering where I get my cardstock from. Papers with these sort of designs also saves choosing papers and cutting individually if you were to cut 4 different papers. I'll add foam tape underneath where I think that I'm going to be putting the sentiment. I'll also put a little bit of glue as well. I'll add a flower in the top corner, and then this card is also finished, and that was another quick and easy one, apart from the fussy cutting, but you don't need to fussy cut them if you choose the ephemera pieces and don't mind the white borders. I normally end up cutting those off, but I love fussy cutting. So let's have a look at all of the cards, and I hope you got some ideas from this, and maybe look at your stash of papers differently for Christmas, or you don't even have to have these as Christmas card designs. They can be for any occasion with any of your papers that you have. But if you are interested in either of these Uniquely Creative collections, please check out the description box below, because I'll have the links to them down there, and if you go through my links I may receive a small commission, so thank you. I'd love to hear if you have a favourite of these cards as well, and if you do decide to recreate any of them, I love hearing that. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, that'd be great. I'm still getting my name out there in YouTube world. I want to say a big thank you to Licia, also known as Mima, for using the Buy Me a Coffee site and leaving me such a lovely message. Big hugs to you, and for every one of you that support my channel by sharing my videos, commenting, giving the video a thumbs up. It all makes a huge difference to me, and it inspires me to continue creating content. Don't forget about the giveaway I have on this video too, the 2 gorgeous frame dies. Just add your name in the comments section in capital letters so it's easy to find amongst the comments. And I'll choose a winner in my next Uniquely Creative video, which will probably be early November, as I have lots of other videos I'll be creating in the meantime. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'll have another Christmas video at the end of this one that you might like to watch or rewatch for Christmas inspiration, so just click here. I hope you have a wonderful week. Happy crafting, and bye for now.